So we're kind of in a time right now where there's really not a whole lot of news going on, although in a couple of days there's probably going to be a ton of news to talk about. So instead, in this video, we're going to talk about something that I've been thinking about over the last good while, but it's really come to like a head in the last week or two. So for a while, I've actually had my SIM in my S23 Ultra. I really wanted to give that another shot and see if I could truly daily drive an old school slab style phone. And it's just a great device. It remains a phenomenal device. I think the other day I ended the day with like 40% battery and like it was between like 4 and 5 hours of screen on time. Absolutely madness in terms of battery life. The camera's fantastic. It's a great device. But it kind of leaves me wanting, okay? It just isn't quite the style that I want. So yesterday I put my SIM back into my Z Fold 4. And once again, I used this device for a little while, and there's great things about it. There's things that I really do like. But after a little while, after maybe a day or so, I find myself wanting to go back to my Surface Duo 2. There's just something about that device. Even though the S23 absolutely murders it in battery life and camera performance and overall performance. The Z Fold, that's true as well. The battery life is a bit better. There's things about the Z Fold that's just better than Surface Duo. There's like one thing about Surface Duo that keeps me coming back to it, and it's just the fact that it has two screens. I find that functionality, the feeling of using that device, to be almost irreplaceable. And that puts me in a really like awful position right now. I'm going to have to leave Duo 2 behind sooner or later, and it might be sooner than later, right? Like, we're not going to get another dual screen phone like Duo coming down the pipe. So I'm going to have to move off of it and move to a single screen phone eventually. I can't just keep using Duo 2 in perpetuity. One, it's just not good for the channel. I need to be trying the newest stuff and reviewing stuff. But two, it's just not how I operate. I tend to move off of a phone. A year and a half is like the longest I'm going to use a phone. I want to move on to the next thing. I want to be using a newer Surface Duo phone, but there isn't going to be one until probably 2024 at the earliest. And when it launches, it's not going to be a dual screen device. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm approaching the end of the line for dual screen devices in the sense that there's just not going to be another one for me to switch to. And honestly, Microsoft could be doing things to make this less true, right? If they were actually prioritizing Duo and delivering updates that were meaningful, it would do a lot to keep me happily using Duo 2 for even longer, but they haven't been, and they probably aren't going to, at least not anytime in the near future. We've heard reports that Android 13 may not come at all. They may be waiting on Android 14 instead. And I've also heard from people that I've spoken to, people who are in the know, that they have absolutely no hope for Android 13 coming to Surface Duo, that they have almost no hope for Duo 3, in fact, ever launching at all. It's not so much that Duo 2 has reached the end of the line, it's that I feel like I can see that this train is not headed to any sort of particular destination, and it makes me want to get off the train and get onto another one. But the problem is there is no other train for me. I'm really hopeful for the Pixel Fold, that it will be something special, that it will do better than the Z Fold has done for me at replacing my Surface Duo 2. But at the same time, I kind of don't think it's going to, because it's just going to be a normal foldable. It's not going to behave the way that Surface Duo and Duo 2 behaves. The fact of the matter is, I am so used to having my dual monitor phone that it's almost impossible for me not to feel restricted. Even using a device like this that has a great big tablet screen, I still wind up feeling restricted on this device in a way that I don't on my Duo 2. It's like going from my dual monitor setup to a single ultra wide. Even if the software is quite good, unless it literally partitions that screen and behaves exactly as if it was two screens, it's just not going to be quite enough for me. And that's where I'm at. And honestly, it really frustrates me because we've had, since September of 2020, so that's, coming up on 3 years, we've had playing with these dual screen phones that Microsoft made. We had a pretty good long taste of what it would be like to have this sort of phone exist in the world and be a real thing, right? We've got to experience this. And for those of us that love it, it is almost irreplaceable. And we are staring down the barrel of having to replace it with no viable option in front of us. And look, I've heard things about what Duo 3 was supposed to end up looking like, that they were really truly going to be doing things with the software to make a single OLED screen behave very, very similarly to Surface Duo. It wasn't going to be exactly what Duo did, where it was automatically, putting one app on one side and one app on the other. But the way that they were going to do it was going to make it what I believe to be the best possible thing you could have on a single folding OLED screen. But when is that device coming? Is that device coming? Am I meant to wait another year? Surely not. And for most people, if you're already in the place that I am now, where you're feeling bad about your Duo 2, it's not getting these updates. Where is Android 13? We've not gotten a single substantial update since Android 12, which was, like October or August or something like that. It was late last year. It's been like 6-7 months now since we've had a substantial update. You're playing the field, so to speak, and you're seeing these other devices and you're thinking, I'm not waiting until fall of 2024 to get my next phone. You're going to buy the Pixel Fold. You're going to buy the Z Fold 5, or heck, maybe you're just going to say, forget it, and you're going to go buy an iPhone or an S23 Ultra. And then what? When the Duo 3 does show up in the fall of 2024, are you going to then say, well, that bad experience was just an aberration, it's going to be better now, and then jump back on board to go down this road again? No, you're not. You're not going to. I mean, even myself, a guy who built his YouTube channel on the back of Surface Duo, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I'm even going to be interested in buying Surface Duo 3 at this point, because why would I? Why would anybody, given the circumstances? So again, it's just like unbelievably frustrating to me that we had Duo and Duo 2. They got to a pretty good place. People like myself, I won't say we, I'll speak for myself. I got kind of hooked on it. I got to a place where every other phone feels wrong to me now, and I have no future with that kind of device, and it absolutely sucks. I'd love to hear from other Surface Duo users in the comments. Are you feeling the same way as I am, looking at the world in front of you, looking at the many paths you could potentially take and thinking to yourself, I don't particularly love any of these paths. I wish Microsoft had have just stuck with Duo and had a Duo 3 launched, a few months back, and I could have been using that happily. Let me know how you feel in the comments down below, guys. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.